hackers.
What? Yeah, my
Perhaps the single most annoying thing in all of gaming.
Dude, this guy's cheating!
They always appear and ruin your day just when you're about to get a victory royale. But these annoying cheaters have become more advanced.
What the f***?
Dude, like, actually. Oh, how are you not banned, bro?
Wow, bro.
It's the f***ing cheaters.
Oh my god!
Fortnite has given away over $100 million throughout the various tournaments in the last 6 years. And with that much money on the line, there's always someone behind a screen ready to break a rule and steal a piece of it that they don't deserve.
Does Epic Games realize what's happening?
Today, with the help of this anonymous member of the Fortnite hacking and cheating community, I will be exposing the massive network of cheaters that have been robbing Fortnite and all of the honest players blind of money for the better part of a decade.
Hi, I'm and I run the most popular Fortnite cheat selling company. I've made over $5,000 cheating on Fortnite and qualified for FNCS Grand Finals.
While some of the more casual fans I have might associate hacking with that one cracked guy who keeps cranking 90s in your lobby, it wasn't always like that. People have been cheating and hacking in video games ever since the first game was ever invented, way before Fortnite was even a thought in the minds of Epic Games. Back in the day, developers would integrate cheat codes into their game. This was mainly to help out during the playtesting phase of the game development, but the developers left these cheat codes in the back end of the games after they were released. They put them there thinking that nobody would even notice, considering it was just useless game files, but throughout time, hackers started to notice that if they accessed these game files, they could cheat like the developers. Cheating became a widely accepted part of the gaming community. Don't get me wrong, there were still gaming purists, but most people were just cheating at home on their own game, and it wasn't exactly hurting anybody else's experience. However, as time went on and online multiplayer games like Fortnite were invented, people started developing hacks that would impact not just themselves, but the players that they were cheating against. When people started first cheating in online shooters, it was very easy to tell. You could see them flying around the sky with their limbs flailing all over the place, killing literally everyone on sight. But recently, as hacks and cheats have improved, it's become much harder to figure out if someone is really cheating, or they might just be really good at the game. Of course, most video games like Fortnite have now adapted and have built-in cheat detectors. However, they're in a constant battle with hackers to stay one step ahead of the curve. There are two main types of hacks in Fortnite that I want to cover today. One are aim and trigger bots, and the other is ESP. Aim bots and trigger bots are pretty self-explanatory. It basically gives you a robotic arm. You see, the computer will automatically lock onto opponents' heads so that you don't have to aim train at all. The hacks will basically do the work for you. Now, to be fair, it is much more nuanced, and if you are a terrible player that starts cheating, it's very obvious, whereas a good player might not be as easily detected if their aim only gets slightly better. And then there's ESP, which is another type of hacks which are called extrasensory perception. When you have hacks like these turned on, it will display important player information on the screen and let you see players through walls. And on top of seeing them, you'll also know what HP the players are at, possibly what rank they are, what weapons they have, and anything else that the ESP developer puts in. See, most of these hacks come from sellers online. These hackers basically promise you that you can play the game undetected from Epic's anti-cheat software, but in reality, you will probably get caught anyway. Epic Games knows that these sites exist too, because they've sued cheaters before. Not just once, but multiple times. In 2017, Epic Games sued a 14-year-old who was advertising hacks on his YouTube channel. And he wasn't some massive YouTuber, he only had 14,000 subscribers. But Epic is incredibly serious. They argued in the lawsuit that these hacks were not only ruining the fun of the game, but also actively violating Epic's copyrights. On top of that, in 2022, Epic Games sued an entirely different cheater known as Blaze FN. Blaze was selling cheats alongside inactive accounts with rare skins and a bunch of other stuff that went against Epic's terms of service. Obviously, Epic Games was not happy with him either, and we don't know how much Blaze was required to pay Epic Games, but we do know that Epic Games won the lawsuit and donated all of the money they won to charity. After he was caught, however, Blaze never sold hacks again. And you should consider these cheaters lucky, because in other game titles before, people have not gotten away with just a slap on the wrist or paying some money. In 2020, Gary Bowser, who was a member of the well-known hacking group Team Executor, was arrested for his role in creating and distributing hardware and software that enabled piracy on Nintendo consoles. After his arrest, Bowser was extradited to the United States in 2021, and after that he pleaded guilty to multiple charges where he was sentenced to 40 months in prison. This case, for the first time, highlighted these serious legal ramifications of hacking for making money. So with all of that on the line, why would anybody risk cheating for a few $100s or the glory of their name on a leaderboard? And to find out the answer to this question, I asked one of Fortnite's leading cheat developers how he started cheating in the first place.
I bought a spoofer and then I started buying cheats. Or I didn't want to buy cheats because they cost money, so I had a YouTube channel from when I was good at the game, and then I said to the cheat developers, the random ones, I don't remember what the name should be, that I'll make YouTube videos if you give me a cheat key. So that's how I first got into cheating.
And I assumed if he had continued to cheat for this long, there must be some big positive upside to it considering all the risk.
So I don't know what it would be overall, but we're the most popular DMA cheat, and on the best month, a few months ago, there was FNCS, heaps of zero build tournaments. We made 30,000 USD, and every month it's above 10,000 USD from hardware, from the DMA firmware, spoofer, and the cheat. There's other DMA cheats, they make 5,000 or 6,000 a month, which is a livable amount of selling DMA cheats. And then people that buy the cheats, you spend $200 on the setup, and then you earn in 2 zero build cups, and you've already made your money back.
And with so much money to be made, I guess it isn't really surprising that there are people willing to do anything to get it. And there aren't just a few players cheating, there are thousands. Based on your knowledge, how many people are cheating?
So if you're just playing pubs and stuff, a cheater's not really just going to be playing normal games, not getting anything from that. But if you look at high-level tournaments, my experience is mostly in build, because I don't play zero build, it's just boring, and you just die to cheaters. So last season, I played OC Grand Finals and 7 out of 8 at the Duo Cash Cup Finals, top 40 for money. And usually in every week of the set lobby, the finals of FNCS or the finals of the Duo Cash Cup, there's 2 or 3 cheating teams. And that's on OC, and that's usually there's usually one known cheater that's good and hasn't been banned in a few months, and there's usually 1 or 2 people that are just rage hacking and then get banned a few days later. So in build, I would say, I don't know what it would be on each region, but on OC it's usually 3 out of 50. But on Middle East, I saw people do good cheating. Someone came 6th in the last FNCS Grands cheating, and in zero build, if you look at the leaderboards, there's people with 2 events played winning them. So I think it'll be 80% of the top 10 in zero build tournaments.
Now, I obviously can't perfectly confirm or deny the accusations from our anonymous source. However, I can 100% tell you that he was on the leaderboard of the FNCS Grand Finals while hacking, and he's still on that leaderboard today. And to further back up these claims, we have seen some pro players get caught cheating before, and not just any players. For those of you who don't know who Repulse is, he was the winner of the 2023 Major Grand Finals in the OCE region.
But there was one team who was making waves in Major 3, and that was Jace and Repulse.
You see, Repulse actually quit the game long before that tournament.
Now, Repulse is one of the best OCE keyboard and mouse players in the first few years of Fortnite's release, even placing 4th at DreamHack Anaheim 2020, a LAN event. Very impressive for a player from such a small region, but come to the end of 2021 and he would quit and disappear from the internet entirely.
What that means is that Repulse was not the actual player on that account. In fact, he hadn't played Fortnite in almost 2 years.
Strangely, on his return midway through 2023, he would be playing Controller.
That keyboard to controller switch was just the first in many pieces of evidence that would come out, which proved that Repulse's account was being played on by a hacker. However, this cheater was about to make a huge mistake. He actually won the Major 3 Grand Finals on Repulse's account. And you're probably asking to me, why is that a mistake? Isn't the point of cheating to win and get the money? And to that, I would answer yes. However, there's another factor at play here. The winner of the Major 3 FNCS in OCE would also be qualified for the 2023 Global Championship LAN event. And for those of you who haven't caught on yet, that was the huge mistake. Because you see, this is a LAN event, and since Repulse wasn't the player on the actual account, he would still have to go to LAN because Epic Games knew what Repulse looked like IRL. And that meant whoever was playing on Repulse's account couldn't go, and Repulse himself would have to go instead. And this is where things got even worse, because according to multiple anonymous pro players that I spoke to, Repulse was telling other players at the LAN event the truth, and basically saying he didn't really qualify and that someone was playing on his account. And after this, it didn't take long for word to get back to Epic Games and Blast about what was going on. Later in this video, we'll be talking about another player from the 2023 Global Championships and their involvement with the cheating problem. And I promise it's someone who will shock every single one of you. So armed with this knowledge that pro players were cheating, I was curious to ask the cheat developer more about how often these cheaters are getting caught. After all, if someone could make it all the way to global championships by cheating, who knows how many people on our leaderboards are cheating right now?
So the anti-cheat is like Valorant, Fortnite have good anti-cheats for detecting software running on your computer. But when it's not on your computer and the only suspicious thing on your device is literally like something appearing as a real device, they're not gonna like ban you for having a real tech internet device.
Well, I guess that's sort of a bright side. Fortnite does have a great anti-cheat. They can ban a very high percentage of players that are cheating. But if you get caught, is it easy to start cheating again?
So when you get banned in Fortnite, they ban your hardware, which is like usually your motherboard, your SSD, and your like IP. So to spoof, you only really need to change your. If you don't want to buy a spoof, you can just buy a new SSD and motherboard. But the spoof is like $20, the one I sell. So it just changes your motherboard serial numbers, and then you reset your computer, and then you're unbanned.
So not only are people cheating, but they're doing it again and again and again. And it creates this horrible cycle because these serial cheaters have no chance of ever being unbanned, so what do they have to lose by trying to cheat again? I know the only big example I have given of cheating so far was the Repulse situation, and I'm sure many of you already knew about that. And on top of that, the Repulse situation was over a year ago now, so why should you even care? Well, the truth is, that is just one example that's been made very public. But luckily, our anonymous source was able to shed some light on just how current this problem really is. I didn't know you played Grand Finals last season.
I came top 22. I'm not going to say exactly what I came, but yeah, OCE Grand Finals.
Wow, that's insane. Yep, like I said before in the video, he really did qualify for the OCE Grand Finals. To keep his privacy, I promised I wouldn't tell you what his name on the leaderboard was, but I can confirm that it's true. And if that's the case, it's possible that this cheating problem runs deeper than we ever thought. Just last season, this one hacker has claimed $1,000 in Fortnite earnings, and there are people that have allegedly made way more than him. Epic Games and all of the legitimate Fortnite players are basically being robbed blind by these cheaters. Now, both of those examples I gave you came from the OCE region, and many say that this is the region where there's most cheating and that the problem only exists there. Unfortunately, however, this is far from the truth, because another grand finalist from Major 3 was recently banned by Epic Games. However, the cheater in question, Herc, made grand finals on the North American region, the region that right next to EU is supposed to be the best in the world. And after being banned, Herc even publicly admitted that he was cheating. And on top of that, he started a Discord where he's now selling his cheats to other players. And while we're talking about Herc, I want to talk about the next big problem with cheating. Remember earlier in the video when I told you we would talk about another player from the Global Championships? Well, now it's time we talk about how one of the biggest Fortnite pros in the world, Cooper, is involved in this situation. Before I go any further, I want to make it 1000% clear that I am not claiming that Cooper is cheating. In fact, I am 100% positive that he is not cheating. So that begs the question, Timmy, why did you even bring Cooper up? Well, I want to point out that there is a large number of pro players who also don't cheat themselves, but are teaming up with cheaters to play tournaments. And the player that was caught cheating in grand finals on NA, named Herc, actually recently played a tournament with Cooper. In a series of tweets about the situation, Cooper claims that he had no clue Herc was cheating. And to be honest with you, I have no clue whether or not Cooper knew. I am inclined to give Cooper the benefit of the doubt in this situation, being that he's a high enough tier player that on his own region, he could play with pretty much any teammate and wouldn't need to resort to playing with cheaters. And I also am not only going to call out Cooper. One of the best Fortnite players of all time, Queasy, also queued up for a tournament with Herc. And once again, I'll make it very clear, I'm not accusing anybody of doing this on purpose. There isn't really any way to know other than by asking Queasy or Herc if Queasy knew the truth about the situation. However, a piece of evidence that goes against Queasy is that he did make this tweet before playing with Herc. Need 3 underrated aimers for NAC. Although at first glance this might seem like an innocent tweet, the term aimer has been used by the cheating community for a long time as a way to signify that they are cheating without actually saying it. That way, if anybody from Epic ever saw these tweets, they wouldn't actually know what they were saying. And it would also minimize their risk of getting banned or receiving any sort of backlash from their fans. And once again, I believe in being fair, and I won't just call out one person for this either, because Queasy is not alone. Here are tweets from the FNCS winners, Malibuka and Swizzy. Malibuka says that he needs Kovacs goats. And for those of you that don't know what Kovacs is, it's a very popular aim trainer. So once again, he's using this same aimer language that Queasy did to try and hide the fact that he wants to play with cheaters. Now, Swizzy was a little bit more direct by just saying need 3 cheaters for NAC reload. And I couldn't find any proof of him playing with them on a leaderboard, but he may have queued with people who were later banned, so I don't really know whether this was a joke or not. But the fact that I don't know whether or not he's joking is the problem. The fact that the cheating situation has gotten so terrible to the fact where I think FNCS winners are willing to queue up with cheaters just shows you how bad it's truly gotten. And if all of this wasn't enough, and you're still saying to yourself, who really cares, Timmy? These pro players are already making money anyway, so who cares who they team up with? Well, that is where the problem lies. See, consistently we've seen pro players complain over and over again on Twitter about hackers. And if any of you guys follow me over on Twitch and watch my streams, you know that I complain about it every time I get one of these guys in my game. However, there's this mindset that players have developed recently that basically says if I can't beat the hackers, I might as well join them, because at the end of the day, it's Epic Games' responsibility to limit cheaters, not ours. But I don't think that's 100% true. Yes, of course, it is the job of Epic Games and the easy anti-cheat to limit the cheaters in our lobbies. But by pro players consistently queuing up with cheaters, it legitimizes them and and makes it less likely that they'll get caught. So these pro players are just hurting their own cause and adding to this epidemic of cheaters in our lobbies. And this isn't the only way that players are using hackers to cheat without actually buying the cheats themselves. In the very popular solo Victory Cup tournaments, people are now paying hackers to eliminate all the other players in the lobby for them so they can get a free win.
Actually, not that many pro players, but a lot of mid-tier players. So there's this strategy. So you're in a solo Victory Cup and you pay someone that's rage cheating, like $30 for example, because you get 100 if you win, to like clear out the lobby, kill everyone for you, and then they just killed themselves and you win the game. But you're just in a box style game, so you're not like technically teaming, because you're not just gonna like pick them, I guess, if you know they're cheating. And then they'll just like die in the last top two, and then you'll win $100 and you pay them 30. So a lot of people like are doing this, like playing with cheaters, I guess, especially in solos. And it's like a good strategy, I guess, because you get $70 from a solo cup, and then you get actual earnings on your Fortnite account. And if the cheater gets banned, it doesn't affect you at all, because they just die.
So obviously hacking is a pretty big issue that doesn't get talked about nearly enough in the Fortnite community. We mentioned before that a majority of hacks now are hardware based, and the hacker even showed us a little video explaining how they look in the PC.
So the first device we have here is the DMA card. This is what reads the memory of Fortnite, and it is plugged into your PCIe slot, but I just have a riser because it doesn't fit properly. And then the cord goes to your second computer, which is, I just have a laptop for example, and then this is what the cheat shows on, and usually it would show on your computer's monitor, but with a device called a fuser, it overlays whatever's on this onto your main monitor. And then this is Arduino, which is like the virtual mouse. This is how the aimbot works. It plugs into both computers, and it is how it clicks and it does all the aimbot. And that's the devices.
As you can see, they look like normal computer parts. Of course, if you're at LAN, these hacks would be detected immediately. However, for any online tournament, you could easily get away with it because anti-cheat only detects software hacks, not these DMA cheats. So with all of this being said, Epic Games clearly needs to come up with some new creative ways to detect hackers, especially if they want the online tournaments to remain serious and not lose a bunch of their player base. I'm going to explain a couple of ways that Fortnite technically could limit the hackers. One of the most simplistic ways they could do this is by measuring response time. For those of you that don't know what response time is, it's basically the amount of time that it takes for your brain to realize that there's somebody in front of you to the moment when your finger clicks the mouse and shoots the player. The average human response time is about 250 milliseconds, and for high-level pro players, this average is probably closer to 150 milliseconds. And the fastest ever recorded response time is 101 milliseconds. Now, if you're playing with a trigger bot hack, you don't actually have to see what's in front of you or click your mouse button. Because of this, these hacks have an average response time of 10 milliseconds, which is literally 1,000 times faster than the fastest ever human response time. So, if gaming companies wrote a simple algorithm that would determine a player's average response time, this could be used to determine who's hacking and who's just naturally gifted with response time. Because no matter how naturally gifted you are, you're not going to beat the human world record by 1,000 times. And the hacker we interviewed agrees that this is a good choice.
AI anti-cheat, or like detecting that you've shot 10 people in 10 milliseconds, you should just be banned. And like, that shouldn't exist. Like, instantly, if you are shooting people faster than human reaction time, that's such an easy thing to track. I think there's things like there's like those overwolf and things to like show you your gameplay stats. Like, they can even like detect how fast you're shooting. The Fortnite anti-cheat should be able to detect that you're shooting too fast and ban people that are trigger botting, for example.
Of course, this wouldn't catch every hacker, because not everybody uses a trigger bot. There are still people that are using their DMAs to use ESP cheats where they see through walls and other stuff like that. However, this would be a great start. Of course, this wouldn't catch every hacker, but it would be a great way to start actually banning people using some of the more aggressive aggressive trigger bot hacks. And that being said, if Epic doesn't even want to do something that drastic, they could also just add better monitoring to FNCS lobbies. Just hire real human beings to watch perspectives live and in replays. I genuinely think if they just added a few people to comb through these games and to respond to people that are being reported heavily, they would limit a lot of the major cheating that's going on in tournaments. And why is this so important? Because things like this completely delegitimize the esports community as a whole. And I know for a fact that's the last thing that Epic Games wants. Because to be 100% honest, if Fortnite and Epic don't find a way to get this under control, I'm not sure how long the pro Fortnite scene will be able to survive.